Okay, so for our final event for the Prism stage here at the Tech Summit, we have the StartUp100 competition. This is 100 high-potential startup businesses who applied to get involved. 50 went through to the second round, and the second round was a series of pitches over today and yesterday on the pitch stage here in the Convention Centre. Those 50 have been whittled down to 5 finalists, and the judging panel are now going to receive pitches from, 3 finalists. The judges are going to receive pitches from each of the 3 finalists. So would you please welcome on the 3 finalists in the Startup 100, those being FlexiWage, Virtual Legal and Fillet. And we just need our judging panel, and the judging panel is made up of representing the sponsors, the Digital Hub, their Chief Executive, Fiach McAneill, from Seed Camp, the expert in residence at Seed Camp, Malcolm Bell, from the Adopt a Startup section of Google, their manager, the Adopt a Startup manager at Google, James Allen, Paul Mulqueen, who's head of small business at Air, and the representatives of the judging panel, the Chief Executive of the Dublin Tech Summit, Noel O'Reilly.
Hello? Okay. Who are we starting with? Great. Here you go.
Thanks. Thanks very much. So I'm Anthony Cronin from FlexiWage, and the problem we address is employee financial wellness. It's a problem that most people here have probably faced at one point in their career, being paid monthly and running out of money in the third week. Anybody here familiar with that? Most, I'd say. The reasoning behind that is because your employer doesn't want to pay you weekly. The reason he doesn't want to pay you weekly is because he has to run a payroll 52 times a year at a cost of running per head 52 times a year. He would much prefer to pay you weekly only for the cost, because you're stressed in the third week, you're absent more, your employee engagement drops, and a lot of that is due to the stresses caused by financial wellness problems. So what if we said that an employer could now pay you 52 times a year or as many times a year as you choose, but still get to process their payroll monthly and only pay for their payroll 12 times a year? So that's exactly what FlexiWage does. So it's a simple process. They run their payroll monthly, load the results of that pay into our application, and FlexiWage will then send in a notification to the employee application. You go in, you schedule that pay as you want to receive it per the month. So if you get all your bills in the first week, you might like to have 75% of it then, but then keep 25 for week 3 when you might be going away to get a payday loan or borrow money from your folks, or just stay at home eating beans. So we try and take the pain out of it, and it's a very simple 3-step process. It allows the employer to empower their employees by allowing them to control their own pay. The financial wellness aspect of reducing the stress is covered. Again, you can attract and retain more employees because you're offering them weekly pay rather than monthly, and especially in a low-paid sector, that is a big pull. We can consolidate payrolls if you're already weekly paid. You can move up to monthly now without the union issues involved in not paying them 52 times anymore, because you're still doing it. This is a big aspect in the States, where the laws are that if an employee is paid under a certain amount, they have to be paid at such a frequency. Now, with FlexiWage going to the US in March, we will be able to go around those laws, allow the employer to consolidate up, save the money through the processing, but still empower their employees to pay the way they want. The cash flow increases massively for a company once they implement FlexiWage. The amount held in an employer's account changes from the whole lot going out on the 30th of the month to into 4 tranches across the month, which we can forecast in advance. When an employee headcount goes over 1,500, the increase in cash flow and interest actually pays for the cost of our system, so the employer ends up paying nothing. When it hits about 5,000, they actually start to make money themselves, so they're offering a benefit to their employee and also increasing their cash flow, and at the same time making money for themselves. So the market size for us is massive. It's we're really looking at the payday loan market. If I can get it up there for you, right? So 46 billion alone, and that means that people do not manage their money. It speaks for itself. So we're going to take that away, hopefully, and nobody likes payday loans anyway, so we'll hopefully get a bit of positive feedback along the way doing that. 32% of staff in the US are paid weekly. Again, we will enable employers to consolidate up to monthly. 90% of a recent Forbes study said that large employers are planning to implement some type of financial wellness program over the next 12 months. So the traction so far, we launched in Ireland in December, or partnered with Quantum Payroll. We've been in to see Grafton Group, our main promoter. Right Price Tiles are going live this month, and we've been in to Meteor twice in the last 3 weeks to speak to them about their call centre staff and utilising it with Colin and the guys there. They're really active about it. Won the Young Entrepreneur Waterford region. Had a great time here at the Tech Summit, thanks to StartUp100. It's been brilliant 2 days. We've had great traction here. The big thing is we're launching in March in the US. Spencer Thomas Group in the US approached us in January about going over there, and we're launching in San Diego at the ADP Meeting of Minds in next month. We've also been nominated for the Payroll World Awards for Innovation Product of the Year in November, and we were nominated in January before the awards were even announced. They called us up to have a look, and they loved it so much. They said, "You're already shortlisted." So we're getting great traction, and we're really running through it. So our awesome team, myself and Paul, worked together at ADP and multiple other payroll providers over the last 15 years. Most recently, I've been payroll manager for EY. Jerry has developed payroll systems for Statoil, IBM, and other big names, and he has worked through IBM with John for nearly 25 years. John is our salesman, and he's literally gone around selling for some of the biggest companies in the world, all software. So together, we're a great group. We know our product, we know the industry, and we hope to help you all empower your employees to have their wage, their way. Thanks.
Do we have any questions?
Thanks a million. Brilliant presentation. I just wanted to quickly touch on, you mentioned US, March, well done, brilliant.
Cheers.
What's the kind of strategy for acquiring customers in a new market? Are you going to use a similar one to what you currently use, or is there a change?
Yeah, so we were doing a partner model, and so Spencer Thomas are actually going to do the selling for us. I'm going over there for 3 months just to get it up and running and make sure the guys are trained up and well, but they're going to sell, implement and support the product for us and a profit sharing agreement. Thanks.
No, I was the judge in the previous one, so I know what flexibility of that.
Nice.
Welcome, Katie.
Right.
Hi guys, I want to start taking you on a short journey to a social issue that has global repercussions, where basically 85% of the world's population cannot access legal assistance. I grew up in a small country town in Australia where only the wealthy people in town could actually get legal assistance. So everyone else just knew that you were born with the same cards that you'd have for the rest of your life. You couldn't make steps to, grow businesses because that was just not your place. So let's talk about the problem. If 85% of the world's population can't access legal assistance, effectively people aren't making the best decisions that they could be making. The geographical isolation that people feel generally makes them think, okay, I'm in a tiny regional area, so I'm not going to reach out and try and ask someone to help me, make a better life for myself in the future. The cost of legals is often quite unknown and exorbitant, so it's quite daunting for people to trust lawyers to actually help them if they're not cashed up already. There's a lack of reliable information, and let's face it, Uncle Google isn't the best source of knowledge if you're actually putting your life on the line. And people don't know generally when they have a legal issue unless they have someone that understands the entire situation to point things out for them, because what you think might be your problem often isn't the problem. It's stemming from something else that's a much bigger problem in the first place. And people don't trust lawyers, and to be quite honest, I don't blame them. So what we've created was virtual legal. We created this in 2013 so that we can start addressing these issues. The first place we started with our platform is creating fixed fees so people know exactly what they're going to pay. They can see online all the time exactly what they're going to pay and what that includes. We've outsourced all of our administration functions and we've automated every aspect of the administration function within the platform so that lawyers are only doing legal work. What this does is it's brought down the cost of legal by 40 or 50%, and we then pass that on to our clients through the platform. But we've gone further than that. People don't want to just deal with technology. People want to connect. So what we use is DISC behavioural profiling so that we understand how people actually communicate back and forwards. And then we parrot that behaviour with them. So, for example, if you have a D personality profile, these people will want short, sharp sentences, dot points, and they won't read your advice. So we know that already, so that's a risk that we deal with. We can actually give them the advice, send them an email, summarise what they really need to pay attention to, then call them a week later to make sure they're actually doing what they need to do. Whereas if you have an accountant, they're probably a C personality profile, and those guys will read everything there is on the entire net about the problem, and then they'll read the advice 3 times, ask 50,000 questions. So we make sure we accommodate those personality changes as well. We have a learning centre online so that people can effectively self-educate and understand what their own situation is for free before they even come to us. That makes them better clients. That also helps us with our jobs. And all the documentation that we have online is also available in client portals, so at 24/7 people know where their legal matters are up to. They don't have to call us all the time, which saves us time, which means we can save them money. We're going one step further. We're going to bring on what we call the Law on Earth portal because at this point in time, we've got all around Australia and New Zealand. Australia has 9 jurisdictions, 9 different sets of law. So we can show traction and scalability already, but we want to make sure we can help the rest of the world. So we're actually setting up the virtual legal firm around the world, and we're offering the Law on Earth portal with hundreds of videos on all different topics that have meta tags in them so that people can go in and self-serve by using the questions. So they'll say what their situation is. We'll then say, watch this video, watch that video, use these documents. This is what that clause actually means in that shareholders agreement. So we teach them how to help themselves. And when they need lawyers, we then zoom in the back end and give them a 20-minute consultation. So they're only paying for the actual legal advice. And to be a part of the platform costs them less than $1 a day. On top of that, they also have the ability to chat to other business owners so they can actually collaborate inside and across countries. The competition aren't doing this at the moment, so there's no one directly competing with us. Rocket Lawyer, LegalZoom, these guys will create documentation, but they don't actually have the education in the back end to support it. So people don't quite understand what the document is, and so they're signing something that could be quite useful, but they actually just don't know if it is or not. That also can be quite dangerous. The reason that it works is because we have customer retention within the platform. We've got a lot of stickiness because they store their documents there as well. The price is low, so it's sustainable.
Her time ended. Well done. Any questions?
Okay, just a quick question. So, if I want to find a lawyer, I'm going to go to Google, and I'm going to type in lawyer or legal advice, and I'm probably going to get 100,000 matching results, if not more. I'm going to have probably 100 plus ads, and I probably would, I think, be able to find a lawyer that I'm looking for. So, how is it that you convince the searching user, who really are going to be competing with like listings on Google, to come to you?
How do we direct them into the portal?
Yeah,
there's a free element to the portal. So people can just go in there, sign up for a profile and start watching videos. And we're a vision, mission, values-based company, so I actually set the company up just to help. I didn't actually set it up to make money. It just turned out that way, that it's actually something that people really want on a global scale. So the videos is actually free. So they can work out what their legal issue is for free. When they start paying is actually when they want to start using the documentation, when they actually want to use the solutions that we're telling them. And that's when the legal insurance attaches to it as well. So the competition aren't lawyers. We're the only ones in the market that are actually lawyers backing up what we're giving them at the same price point.
Well done. Thanks a million. I think you were just about to touch on the kind of customer retention and repeat usage and churn. I just wanted to hear, how you're addressing that. Will people be coming in and out of the platform, or what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so because the law keeps changing, that's actually a really good part for us, because people actually need us to keep letting them know when their documents need updating. The other thing we do as well in terms of customer retention, especially because we have thousands of startups that use us in Australia, we give them the grants as well. So through their portal, once they've tagged different things, we know what we can give them to really add value, because it's not going to cost us anymore to do that. I might put one person on, that's the full-time person that will facilitate all the grants that come through. Send them the forms, send them the information. What it does is it builds trust. And trust is the big thing in legal, because that's what's really lacking. So when they trust us to not only give them the solution that they're paying for, but we also say, hey, listen, by the way, here's an opportunity that, because you've ticked that and that, and we know that your business does this, because we've seen these documents, you might be able to make money off this.
When did you start the company, and just describe what the scale of your company at the moment?
Yeah, it was the 26th of June on 2013, so it's 3.5 years old now.
Hello, I hope everyone's still somewhat awake after 2 long days. My name is Gianni and I'm co-founder of Fill It. So every day we know that there's hundreds of people up and down this country on the search for space, if not thousands or countless people worldwide. Everyone here, as we're surrounded at Dublin Tech Summit by new businesses and entrepreneurs, everyone has a need for space. As their business's journey, they'll start off maybe with a hot desk, need meeting rooms, maybe pop-up shops. But everyone has a space. Everyone needs space. From birthday parties to film shoots, people need space. But where do we go to find space? Do we spend half a day online looking for space? When we find space, do we have the right contact? Do we have the right information about that space? Who do we contact? Are we just chasing them? All these are blockages to get where we need to go. Until now. Introducing Fillit.ie. So Fillit's an online platform that connects people looking for space for temporary usage to those who have extra or underutilized space. Fillit is the first online platform that allows users to list their own space without determining how that space could or should be used. So, what do I mean when I say that could or should be used? Well, basically, if we look at a room, we have 10 of us, we sit around in the room and go, hey, what could happen in this room? We'll probably think of 15 great ideas. But if we double the number of people in that room, we'll probably double the number of ideas for what can happen in that space. If we put that space out to the public and go, here's a great space, how do you need to use it? The potential is huge for what can happen there. I talk about landlords and I talk about space. So who's a landlord and what is a space? Well, in our eyes, a landlord is anyone who owns or manages a space, and there's only 2 real types of space. That's a full space and that's an empty space. So if the space is even empty part of the time, it's not living up to its full potential. So it doesn't matter if your space is half a shelf, a hot desk, a meeting room, a function room, an empty warehouse, or a greenfield space. All these are amazing spaces that can be listed on Fillit. Landlords can pop them up there themselves, and in a couple of moments they have their own profile page where they can instantly start promoting their space. So we'll just look at a couple of figures on our journey so far. We have roughly about 1,200 weekly visitors to our site. We have 1,700 people signed up. We have about 500 spaces across Ireland. And how do we make money? We charge a commission on every booking, so that's 5% to landlords and 10% to tenants. Our biggest client to date is Tesco Ireland. They have all their spaces up and down the country are listed with us. So whether you want to rent a car parking space, have a business in the car park, or you want to do a brand experiential piece, that will have to happen through our platform. If we looked at all the bookings we've had or all the inquiries we've had on our platform just last month of July, we're just under 200,000 in potential revenue there. And finally, if we looked at all the spaces we currently have, as I said, we have just under 500 and we're adding them literally every day to the platform. And we rented all those spaces for just 1 day a year. The total of that would be just under 360,000. So who's on this journey with me? There's myself and my co-founder John. There's Dan, our lead developer. We have Connor in sales and Will in social. We're also hiring 3 new roles to take us forward. Over the last 6 months, boom, I have another slide. Over the last 6 months, what we've done is we've put this critical mass of traffic through our site and let it organically grow. If we were building a platform for just one niche of space, like our competition is doing, we would have a really easy platform to build, but it would be a small part of the market. So what we did is we launched our brand. We constantly lived in the data over the last 6 months and watched how people were using our platform. In the next 5 or 6 weeks, we're launching our Fill It 2.0, which we're massively stoked about. And as soon as we do that, then we can start to implement our marketing plan, because we've loads of tricks up our sleeve that we're ready to launch with. So our next steps as well, once we have that 2.0 up, is to strengthen the number of spaces we have around the country before we look further afield. Currently, approximately 70% of our space is here in Dublin. So if you have an empty or underused space, fill it with people and ideas. Thank you.
I do.
Hello.
How you doing?
How's it going?
Well done on a very good presentation, anyway.
Cheers. It's weird to present to you when I have my back to you, but...
Yeah, that's all good. That's all good. You went through your target market and the product that you're selling, which is very good, but there's competition out there, perhaps in a slightly different area of the market around your Daft, your My Home. How do you intend to keep relevant and to maintain your area of the market when potentially they could just expand into this end of the market? How would you maintain your market share or relevance in that particular space?
Well, I see that as a bit of a two-wedged question, if I can give you a two-wedged answer. But basically what we're trying to do is currently space is being marketed in silos. So when you try and rent a space, no matter what type of space you rent, as soon as you start looking for that space, you're going to be funneled to a certain type of space. And you may not want that. So to take an example, if you want to do an out-of-office team building day for your business, you're instantly, if you start Googling these type of things, you're going to be funneled towards a kind of corporate environment. But maybe that's not you, maybe that's not your business. Maybe your business is music and you want to do that in a nightclub during the day. There's nothing currently that will allow you to do that. As far as other giants that are in other areas, we have competition that are focusing on niche areas like pop-up shops or like hot desking, But we have a broad approach to space. There's no reason why one person would have to go to 2 different locations to find the same space. People have birthday parties, people have business needs. They should be able to use the same platform to find the same type of space. We're trying to grow our community, and we're trying to grow it really well. We're listening to our users every day, and it's that kind of community that is what's going to keep us relevant. Because people can easily, we're a small team, and we're doing our best like all startups here. People can easily come in and blast us out of the water, take our idea and run with it. But it's our community, it's our landlords that are with us since the start, and it's a platform that we're building for them. Because if it works for them, it's going to work for us in time.
Thank you. Good answer.
Thanks.
You say you have roughly 200,000 revenue stream. Is that right?
That's inquiries. So that's the number of inquiries. So over the last month, that's the total revenue of inquiries that would have went across the platform.
Okay, and is there a pattern within that in terms of breaking down those streams? What particular area of real estate that you see the biggest spike?
Do you mean, is there a strongest area? Because Tesco's our biggest client, there's a lot of retail space there with them, so that's a very strong area for us. But since the start of our journey, we've been really lucky that it's happened the way we wanted it. People are using the platform how we wanted it. To give you a really quick example, we listed a hot desk in our office at the very start of our journey. We popped it up there to use our own platform. At that stage, we needed any sort of space up there. Within a couple of weeks, that space was booked to do a film shoot by Bank of Ireland. So that's the potential of Fill It. They didn't need to search for a filming location. They wanted a hot desk, so they could go to one site, which would have all the space together and book it really easily. Thanks. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Okay, let's get our forms back in.
Hi, just very quickly, my name is Fiach Machanil. I'm CEO of the Digital Hub. And before I do anything, I just want to compliment Noelle O'Reilly and all her team on a fantastic 2 days. Congratulations, everybody. Somebody like myself who's only started at the Digital Hub last November, it's a great opportunity, having spent the 2 days here, to connect with the community. As diverse as the community it is, it's quite a small community, but it's a wonderful opportunity for myself to make those connections. And I suppose that's what we have to offer at the Digital Hub in Dublin 8. I could go on and talk about the great office spaces that we have, and we do, and the great support we give to startups and emerging companies in the tech and digital world. We are the largest cluster of technological and digital companies in Ireland, which we're very proud of. But the one thing we can offer, and I suppose this is my message in Dublin 8, is a great community, a great living, historical community, a vibrant community that we support through all our community and education projects, that we work well with NCAD. And we have that gorgeous corridor from the Irish Museum of Modern Art, the creative vein, going straight through to the National College of Art and Design. And that's something that we're very proud of. And the Digital Hub, with its almost 100 companies and over 750 employees, is a part of that. So we can offer all of you here, particularly startups and emerging companies, a wonderful community to engage with, to fertilise with, to have coffee with, and join us up there at some point. Thank you.
And now we wait. Dan will join us in 2 moments.
So to go from 100 startups to 50 and then down to 3, it's a huge achievement to see all 3 of you sitting here and pitching, and we really appreciate what you've put into the conference overall in the last 2 days. But unfortunately, there can only be one winner, and today that winner is FlexiWage.